Talk boxing news.
I want to be the best fighter possible before I retire. I want to be able, I think, me personally, that I am one of the best boxers in the world, male or female. I think it's Muhammad Ali, Floyd Mayweather, me. That's it. That's it. But you know what? I will say that I think that I'm so good that I'm hard on myself because I should be knocking these girls out. If I can go on there and win unanimous decisions, I'm always asking myself after the fight, why didn't you get the knockout? How come didn't the knockout come? So for me, that's what I'm working on. So I got all the skills and the power and everything. I just have to figure it out and put it all together. And I've been fighting some of the toughest competition ever since I've been pro. So I think that I'm just going to continue learning and building, but I think that the knockouts are getting closer and closer.
It's a legitimate query, a legitimate question. Claressa Shields really is one of the best boxers, pound for pound, in the sport, in the world, yet for some reason, knocking out her opponents remains elusive.
Why?
Claressa shares a common opponent with Michaela Lauren and Ivana Habazin. They both fought this fighter, but only one of them scored the knockout. Only one of them knocked out Ivana Habazin. That was Michaela Lauren some years ago. Some years later,
Claressa fought her, and Claressa beat her.
though she didn't knock her out. She definitely dominated Ivana Habazin. She definitely did.
Yeah.
But she didn't stop her the same way that Michaela Lauren stopped her. Is that to say that Michaela Lauren is stronger than Claressa Shields or a better boxer than Claressa Shields?
I don't think so.
Then why is scoring knockouts so difficult for Claressa? I think it's a combination of things. I do. I think that Claressa, she doesn't have the heaviest hands. You know, power is one of those things to where either you got it or you don't.
You can amplify it and sharpen it, but you have to have it in the first place in order to do any of that.
Now, I don't think Claressa Shields has natural power. I don't think she has the heaviest hands per se, though that still doesn't explain why she hasn't been able to stop some of these girls that have been stopped by smaller fighters than Claressa. A part of it, I think, is Claressa Shields' hand speed.
How so? I thought speed adds to the power.
Normally it does, but with Claressa, what I've noticed is she'll get a couple of shots in. Good, accurate shots, well-placed shots. And the girls stop trying.
Yeah.
The girls opposite the ring.
They shell up.
They go into survival mode and they stop trying. They don't open up, thus depriving Claressa of hitting them with punches they don't see. It's the punches you don't see that do the most damage. It's the punches you don't see that can take you out. And when the girl opposite the ring makes a decision that she's not going to take any chances and she's not really going to try,
Nope.
she's not really going to open up, she's going to stay behind a guard,
Claressa discourages these girls rather quickly.
they arrive at that conclusion rather quickly that they can't contend with her accuracy or her speed, so they stop trying.
They just hang on and brace themselves for what's coming. That's a part of why I think she can't get the knockouts. She's not heavy-handed enough.
But she's just gonna floor all these different girls through strength of arms. She's not heavy-handed enough to do it that way.
Thus, her best bet to score a knockout is to hit a girl with a punch that they don't see. And the problem with that is they check out so early mentally, they don't open up anymore.
I think that Olympic gold medalist from the United Kingdom, Lauren Price, is set to face a very similar problem. She's so much more athletic than all the other girls at her weight, so much faster.
In essence, it's the same problem that Claressa has.
I saw Lauren Price's last fight with Naomi Mans in La France, and you could see she was so much faster and so much sharper, so much better than Naomi Mans that Naomi didn't try for much, didn't
really make a fight of it.
So how do fighters like Lauren Price and Claressa Shields rack up knockouts when their opponents seem to check out mentally? Well, they can try to condition their opponents with where they throw their shots, where they throw their punches. You condition them to protect their head so you could put
something downstairs. Nobody likes it to the body.
And fighters don't recover from body punches as quickly as they might head punches.
Body punches take the air out of the tires, wear on a fighter's energy reserves, leave them open for other punches later on in a fight. Body punches.
Nobody likes them. And perhaps one way that Claressa can start racking up knockouts is conditioning her opponents to protect their head, thereby leaving their body open.
And the same is true in reverse to a degree. You can condition the opponent to protect their body so they're open for head punches, headshots.
Clean ones. After exhaustion has set in, the overall goal is to land punches when the opponent is not prepared. Punches they don't see, punches they don't brace themselves for. Those are the punches that'll take them out.
That's the ticket.
In the absence of brute force, the best way to score a knockout is to land a punch the opponent isn't ready for.
What happens with Clarissa's fights is she discourages the girl early, who then shells up, doesn't try for anything, and Clarissa simply overwhelms her with volume.
Allowing Clarissa to win the rounds on activity alone, though not really getting in with meaty punches, meaty shots. So what she really has to work on is disguising her punches, conditioning her opponent
To create other openings in other areas.
disguising her punches through conditioning the opponent, feinting,
Finding holes in the guard, around the side, up the middle.
and really driving those shots, driving those punches where there are openings to inflict maximum damage.
She can't do it through brute force, so accuracy, placement, and timing.
That's gonna have to be it if she wants to start scoring knockouts. Men's super lightweight news. Teofimo vows to take the life of Tosh Jailer on June 10th. We've heard these kinds of
Death threats?
Deontay Wilder, on more than one occasion, has said that he would like to add a body to his record, killing one of his opponents.
Same Deontay Wilder that was crying crocodile tears for Pritchard Colon, who's disabled as a result of his injuries in the sport of boxing.
Same guy, Teofimo Lopez, joins him as the latest boxer that claims he wants to kill someone, saying, I want to kill Josh Taylor. What the fuck does that mean? People tell me, like, let's get back to boxing, but that is boxing. That is what we signed up for. You're probably going to lose your life. What does that mean? If I'm a die in that ring, at least I'm a die with some dignity and some integrity. I went out there like a warrior, and the champs that we are, that's what I know. That's what I signed up for. Boxing today is the gladiator days back then. A lot of people don't know that because they don't know boxing.
Teofimo Lopez referenced a young fighter, 22 years old, that lost his life and succumbed to his injuries from the sport of boxing this past May on the 6th.
Said the kid was 22 years old, just passed away, and I said it like it is.
More power to him if that's how he feels.
Oftentimes, these kinds of comments are said in poor taste and elicit negative reactions, but if Teofimo is prepared to deal with the consequences of those comments, then so be it.
It's his prerogative the same way it was Wilder's.
This is not the first time Lopez has said something controversial. Last month, he was heavily criticized for suggesting that his promoter Top Rank was favoring black fighters over him, a remark that many perceived as being racist. When I fought Vasyl Lomachenko in 2020, I took his heart, especially in that 12th round. Boom, I won the fight, Lopez said. With Taylor, he ain't got no heart, so what can I really take from this man? His life. His life. The only way I'ma make a statement is by doing that. I'm not sorry about that.
And don't look for sympathy if he kicks your ass up and down that ring.
Don't look for sympathy if it goes sideways for you instead of him. Not just with him, beyond that fight, because these are the kind of comments that come back to haunt you. I know people are gonna twist my words again on this one, Lopez continued, but you know something? I don't give a flying fuck. I don't care, because this is the sport that we are in, and it sucks to see how many pass away, especially some young ones.
Well, if it sucks, then why are you wishing that upon your fellow fighter?
Why are you the one saying you're looking to kill Josh Taylor? You're either standing on your square or you're not.
When Teofimo Lopez made those comments a little over a week ago about Top Rank favoring black fighters over him, I thought to myself, this kid's coming apart at the seams. That's nerves.
He's nervous, and it's showing how unhinged he has become over time, and the lack of stability that's always been associated with him, it's actually gotten worse.
It has.
Worse over time. And this is a glimpse into that instability, now saying he wants to kill Josh Taylor.
Dial it down a bit, Rambo.
Teofimo Lopez has instead elected to double down on those statements, saying he stands by his controversial comments. I wouldn't be Teofimo if I did apologize. I don't apologize for any of the stuff I say. If you take it wrong, then that's on you, because I don't take it to that extreme. No, I don't. I know my place. Trust me, brothers. Trust me, sisters. I know my place. I just don't. I just speak a certain kind of way, strategically, on one specific thing, but others will turn my words and switch it around to do what they've got to do to get paid with it.
He's the one saying he wants to kill Josh Taylor. Who's turning it around on him?
It's that lack of stability I'm talking about. You go out of your way to make those kinds of statements saying that you're not going to apologize for them, however poor taste they might be in.
And they are in poor taste.
Patrick Day, Maxim Dadashev, Ginette Zapata. These are some of the names of some of the fighters that have succumbed to their injuries from the sport of boxing. For Teofimo Lopez himself, a boxer, to be so cavalier about things?
What does he expect?
He's well within his rights to say what's on his mind, say what he feels, and people are well within their rights to think what they think and say what they want to say about it. That's the way it works. The pendulum swings both ways.
Don't look for sympathy if Josh Taylor smacks you up and down that ring.
Lopez said his estrangeness is in part due to the lack of sympathetic outreach he received when he was hospitalized with a serious lung condition after his points loss to George Kambosos.
I mean, they promote that more than they do my own fight right now, Lopez said. Am I sorry? No, I'm not sorry. I just speak on what it is.
No one's sorry for me. When I was dying and when I was in the ICU after my fight, no one said, Teofimo, wish you well, hope you're good. No one wrote to me.
I fear for Teofimo if he loses, I do, because these are the thoughts he's having ahead of this fight. This fight that he could very well lose.
He's thinking about death. He's thinking about killing people. He's thinking about his loss to George Kambosos. He's not in a good place mentally, I don't think he is. And if he were to lose, if he were to suffer his second professional loss to Tosh Jailer,
psychologically, I don't think he can recover because he didn't recover from the first one.
So imagine if he loses to Josh Taylor. Josh Taylor, who has requested that there not be 3 American judges for his upcoming fight with Teofimo Lopez the way there were in the Lomachenko versus Haney fight.
That controversial outcome.
Obviously, I've requested to have 3 different judges, that there not be all American judges, Taylor told BoxingScene.com. So hopefully they accept what we've requested, and hopefully that's the case. But I don't let things like that bother me anyway. I believe in myself and I'm confident in my ability that it's gonna be that much of a dominant display, that the judges can't deny me. Even though they tried in that Jose Ramirez fight, I had that fight a lot wider than they did. So did most people, and people noticed.
Scoring was a bit unusual in that thing. Josh was dominant round by round, scored 2 knockdowns, but they still had it close. It's almost like they were trying to rob him, but they couldn't.
The controversial outcome of the Lomachenko versus Haney fight, and how most people feel. Vasyl Lomachenko won that fight, but all 3 of the American judges scored it for Devine Haney. That's what Tosh Jailer has in mind. Now, Taylor felt Haney versus Lomachenko, a 12-round fight for Haney's IBF, WBA, WBC, and WBO lightweight titles, was very competitive. Having seen that fight, I don't know what all the fuss is about. Lomachenko fight, Taylor said. I think it was a fight that could have gone either way.
And yet you're the one with special requests about the judges, because all the judges in that fight were from right here in the US of A.
But you don't want that. You want the judges to be from some other place. If you really felt that it wasn't a huge fuss, you wouldn't be making all those special requests. You don't want to be on the receiving end of a decision like that one. Let's call a spade a spade.
Otherwise, you wouldn't care where the judges were from. It's that fight you're thinking about. It's that fight you've got in mind.
You can tell me it was close and it was competitive, but when push comes to shove, you don't want a panel of American judges, just American judges, like there were in that fight, because you don't want your fight to end how that one did.
So be honest.
In men's super middleweight news, Canelo Alvarez's longtime trainer and manager took to social media and stated,
Ahora resulta que los patos te tiran a las escopetas. Ya hasta ofertas hacen. Por ahora, los 3 promotores que lideran el negocio son Matchroom, PBC, Top Rank y ninguno me ha mandado ninguna oferta para pelear en septiembre. Hay veces que las butacas del Coliseo aprenden más.
What the hell's he talking about?
Eddie Reynoso is basically saying that he has yet to receive an offer from either Matchroom, PBC, or Top Rank. Now, Top Rank, they don't have anything to offer Canelo Alvarez. I mean, in terms of high-profile fights,
0.
They don't have anything to offer him in terms of a high-profile opponent, but it's most alarming that neither Matchroom or the PBC have offered him anything.
What the hell happened at a B-ball rematch?
In all likelihood, if he hasn't received an offer yet, it could be because Dmitry Bivol has yet to agree to the stipulated weight for such a contest. Remember, Canelo wants it at 175, where the first fight took place, but Dmitry wants it at 168 for Canelo's belt. It seems they haven't gotten anywhere since those preliminary reports came out. That could be the holdup with Matchroom. With the PBC, it's a little bit different. I mean, Samson Lukowicz and David Benavidez, Team Benavidez, they've been very vocal about wanting a Canelo Alvarez fight, and they even went as far as having a meeting with Eddie Reynoso.
So where's the offer?
That meeting was a little over a week ago, I think it was, and Samson Lukowicz himself, he did say something about making Canelo an offer sometime around this week. It seems that he hasn't made it yet, though I wouldn't get too attached to these statements from Eddie because news in boxing is fluid and ever-changing. By the time this video is uploaded, said offers may have been made.
Just a phone call away.
You can't carry on the way that Team Benavidez has been carrying on in reference to a Canelo Alvarez fight, then be this slow to the punch, this slow behind the wheel. If you want this guy, then go get him because he's free and he's receptive to fighting you.
The way I see it, if Matchroom can't get Dimitri to agree to do the rematch at 175, and the PBC doesn't make a play to bring Canelo Alvarez over, why don't the people at Matchroom then make a play to bring David Benavidez over?
So, does that mean you'd be willing to fight on the zone if that's what Canelo wanted?
No, I believe that his contract expired on the next fight. On May.
Okay.
You heard it from the horse's mouth. The David Benavidez people, Samson Lukowicz, he doesn't want to send David over to the zone, but that shouldn't stop Matchroom from making him an offer. That shouldn't stop Matchroom from making a play to do the show and putting him on the spot.
PBC don't want to bankroll that fight? Let Matchroom bankroll that fight since you want it so fucking bad. You can't shut the fuck up about it.
Every 10 fucking minutes you're hearing somebody from Team Benavidez talking about Canelo. If it's not David himself, it's David's father. If it's not David's father, it's his promoter.
So let's get the pen to the paper and let's get the fight done. What's the holdup?
If they don't have any luck with either of those two guys for either of those two fights, Dimitri Bivol or David Benavidez, what about fighting Demetrius Andrade? He's a network and promotional free agent. We last saw him in action less than 12 months ago on the undercard of Gervonta Davis versus Hector Garcia.
You can't get Dimitri in the ring and you can't get David on the phone? Get that guy.
That's the next best thing. I'm not really interested in seeing a Bivol rematch. I'd rather see Canelo versus Andrade or Canelo versus Benavidez in September. That's more to my fancy. I'd rather see those two fights, either one.
So like I said, news in boxing is fluid and ever-changing. By the time that this video is uploaded, the wheels may be in motion for one or some or all of those fights.
So I wouldn't get too comfortable. Canelo Alvarez may be hearing from Eddie Hearn shortly in reference to a Bivol rematch, or from Al Hyman in reference to a David Benavidez fight. You know, Canelo Alvarez, it costs a lot of money to get him out there.
Yeah, Canelo versus Benavidez would generate a lot of money.
So do you want to do the fight or do you not want to do the fight?